Due to the coronavirus pandemic, the Duke freshman fall experience this year is like never before. In response to COVID-19, Duke is focused on the safety of healthcare providers, staff, faculty, students, and the public. I believe that these unprecedented times experienced by the class of 2020 will forever go down in history. Unlike other universities that do not have the same outstanding resources, Duke has made sure that every student should monitor and report their symptoms every day through the SimMon app, which can be downloaded through Apple or Samsung. In order to make sure that each student remembers to fill out the form, if it is not completed by 2 p.m. every day, Duke turns off the student's Duke card, making it so that they cannot enter their dorm or use the card for food. This incentive, personally, has made me make sure to fill out my SimMon right when I wake up in the morning, as it is very simple, it takes a few seconds, and I just make sure to record how I'm feeling every day. Duke has also made it so every student living on campus has mandatory weekly testing. In fact, the average student gets tested twice a week. With a pool testing technique, each student is responsible to go to one of the many testing facilities on campus before 4 p.m. on the day of the required test. After carefully scanning their testing kit, one places a Q-tip in both sides of their nose before concealing the test tube and placing it into a bin. If the pool has a positive test, the testing team retests every person in the pool, this time including their names on the tube. After tracking down the COVID-19 positive student, they are required to enter an 8-day quarantine in the Jarvis dormitory before being tested again. If their test comes back negative, they're allowed to return to their dormitory. However, if the test is still positive, they must remain in Jarvis until cleared. For those who have come into contact with COVID-19 positive students, they are required to enter a quarantine facility where they are kept for 2 weeks after exposure to ensure that the virus is not spread throughout the campus. Personally, I was placed in quarantine for 8 days. My quarantine facility was called The Lodge, and it is a hotel directly across from the Duke Hospital. After being contact traced by a friend, I quickly packed a bag of my clothes and schoolwork and got picked up by Duke Transportation and taken to the lodge. There, I filled out a form and I got daily meals, and I also had access to unlimited snacks in the lobby of the hotel. While I did not end up testing positive for COVID-19, in order to ensure that I was negative, I remained in my room throughout the day for the remainder of my quarantine. Aside from the required testing, Duke has also taken action to reduce COVID-19 from Duke's campus by requiring each student to fill out a conduct compact upon arrival to Duke University in early August. This compact made it so that the rules and regulations of attending college during COVID were clear and concise. The compact stated that there is a maximum of 3 people in a room, masks are required everywhere on campus, including in your bathroom, and only outdoor gatherings can have a max of 10 people. Unfortunately, not everyone who agreed to this compact upon their arrival at Duke followed the rules. There have been numerous cases of freshmen who have been put on probation, had their housing rights taken away, and even faced disciplinary probation. How has COVID affected your freshman year experience at Duke?
Well, it's definitely made the social scene a lot harder. Especially the first few weeks, it was very difficult meeting new people and making friends, especially because I didn't know anyone prior to coming here. And obviously it's harder to do everything just because everyone has a mask on. There are so many other rules, but nonetheless I've been able to make some good memories and some good friends as well. Well, basically what happened was I invited a couple of my friends over to watch the basketball NBA playoffs with me. And then, next thing you know how word spreads. They texted someone, that person texted another person, and next thing you know, there's 15 people in my room, most of which I did not really know that well. And then my RA kind of came down the hall, he heard the noise, and he busted us. For COVID regulations, we had too many people in the room, And also we violated the drinking policy because there was some alcohol involved as well. I got an email from Duke Conduct, and then I had to meet on Zoom with some people in the administration, and they basically just scolded me. And yeah, that was it really. Now I'm on residential hall probation. I would say that Duke is definitely being smart and doing the right thing in terms of like trying to keep us safe, and I totally get that. But at the same time, like, I'm not sure I would necessarily recommend the Duke COVID experience to a friend. But we are making the best of it, so, I guess I can't complain too much.
Hello, so I'm a freshman here at Duke University in the fall of 2020. So I ED to Duke. My dad had been here and I was in love with the campus and the people and the facilities here. However, when I was informed about the new COVID-19 policies, I kind of considered taking a gap year. However, all the plans I would want to do in my gap year were canceled due to COVID. So arriving here on August 8th, I moved into a 2-bedroom single dorm in the Wilson dormitory. Because of COVID, no one had roommates, and I was honestly pretty excited to have my own space in college, as that's something that usually never happens. So, first week of school, I didn't really understand how strict the COVID policies were going to be, and I invited about 12 kids into my room, thinking that the max was 10 people per room, and technically I had 2 bedrooms. So about an hour in, we're playing music, hanging out. I check my dorm group chat on GroupMe, and a guy in my dorm is freaking out, super mad at me, and ends up calling me a POS. And this really hurt my feelings. It created a very hostile environment right from the start due to COVID. And I honestly think that the COVID policies at Duke have kind of enforced an era of snitchery where anyone can report you to anyone. You can get in trouble by one of your friends, your dorm mates, a peer. And so right off the start, I was really embarrassed and I really didn't know what to do. I ended up not getting a letter or an email by the student conduct for about 2 weeks, until September actually, when finally I got an email saying that I'd been in trouble and that I needed to get a conduct meeting. So this process really scared me because I never really got in formal trouble before in high school, and it was my first week at Duke in college. But flash forward to October. So at this point, the restrictions for how many people could be in your dorm room had lowered to 3 people, including yourself. So you could have 2 friends in your room. So from the first week, which was 10, it now had lowered to 3. So making the dorms lower the amount of people in a room kind of honestly causes a very hostile environment where, as a friend group, you need to only pick 2 friends that you want to hang out with the majority of the time. So as a freshman, this is very hard because you don't know who you want to hang out with. You're very confused and you kind of just want to meet everyone. But unfortunately, this reality is not possible with COVID. So this is something I had to learn very quickly. So in October, I once again had about 5 friends in my room on a Saturday night. We were playing water pong and we were all just listening to music and hanging out. But around 12 a.m., the RC and the RA came up and knocked on my door. I put music off, I put my cups away, I acted totally calm, knowing that I really did not think I was breaking any rules, as once again, the policy was 3 people per room and I have 2 rooms, so technically I thought I could have 6 people. However, this was not the case. I got in a lot of trouble. Once again, I got a conduct meeting, and this time I was informed I was on residence hall probation. So residence hall probation basically means that if I get another strike, I will be kicked off campus. So I need to be very, very careful. And since then, I honestly haven't hung out with anyone in my room.
In 2020, we are living in unprecedented times. Not even experts are aware of what will happen with coronavirus in the future. That said, I honestly believe that Duke's efforts to keep kids learning during the pandemic have been outstanding and highly beneficial to the mental and physical health of many.